Ugh, you know that feeling, right? When you check your math and realize you made a simple mistake. Again, it is so frustrating. Well, look, you are definitely not alone. The good news is, there's a really simple framework that can help you catch those errors before they even happen. Doesn't matter if you're balancing a budget or just doing a homework problem. So let's break it down.
Okay, to get started, let's warm up with a super quick quiz. Take a look at this. 2 times 5 plus 3. What do you think that equals? Go ahead, lock in your answer. Now, I'll admit it's a little bit of a trick question, and it's designed to highlight a really common pitfall. We'll circle back to the answer in a bit, but just keep your number in mind as we go. The first step to stopping mistakes is actually understanding them. And it turns out almost every single math error you could possibly make falls into one of 3 simple categories. By actually giving them a name, we can come up with a specific plan to stop each one. This is not about being bad at math. It's all about having the right framework for success. And here they are: conceptual, calculation, and careless errors. That's it. Seriously. Every mistake, from a failed test question to that little quiz we just did, it can all be traced back to one of these 3 culprits. And the key is, once you can spot them, you can stop them.
All right, now that we've named our enemies, let's get our toolkit ready. For each type of error, there's a simple, practical way to fight back, improve your accuracy, and really boost your confidence. So let's jump in with the first one. First up, we have the conceptual error. This is what happens when there's a gap in understanding the whole idea behind the numbers. It's not about messing up the addition. It's about not knowing why you're supposed to be adding in the first place. A classic example? Confusing the perimeter of a shape with its area. They're 2 totally different concepts that are super easy to mix up if that core idea isn't solid. And you see this in the real world all the time. Like, if a shirt is 20% off, a conceptual error is thinking you pay 20% of the price. But that's not right at all. You actually pay 80%. It's a perfect example of how just a small misunderstanding of the main idea can lead to a really big mistake. So what's the fix? Simple. Make sure you can explain the concept in your own words before you even start calculating. Next up are calculation errors. Oh man, these are the ones that just make you want to facepalm. You understood the concept perfectly, you set up the problem the right way, but then somewhere along the line, you just made a simple arithmetic mistake. You added when you should have subtracted, or you dropped a negative sign. This is an error in the how of doing the math. So how do we stop these silly mistakes? With 3 really powerful habits. First, the most obvious one, but it's absolutely crucial. Always double check your work. Second, use estimation. Before you solve anything, just round the numbers and get a rough idea of what the answer should be. If your final calculation is way off, you know something's wrong. And finally, draw a picture. Visualizing the problem can often make the right calculation just click into place. And that brings us to our third and final category, the careless error. This one is, well, it's arguably the most frustrating of all, because it happens when you know the concept and you know how to do the calculation, but you just weren't paying close enough attention. Maybe you misread the question, or copied a number down wrong, or you just skipped a step in the instructions. It's the worst. The best defense against this is just being mindful, and this simple 3-step checklist works wonders. 1. Read the problem carefully, twice, just to be sure you know exactly what's being asked. 2. Make a quick plan before you even start solving. And 3. Always double-check your final answer against the original question. Easy. Okay, so you've met the 3 errors, and you have your toolkit of strategies. Now it's time to put it all to the test. I've got a final challenge problem for you, and it's designed to trip you up. Let's see if you can use what we've learned to solve it correctly. Here it is, 24 divided by 4 plus 3 times 2. Take a second. Think about the order of operations. Can you spot a potential conceptual error lurking in there? Is there a place where a calculation might slip? Or is there a careless mistake just waiting to happen? See if you can solve it. Let's walk through it together. The key concept here is, of course, the order of operations. We have to do multiplication and division before we do addition. So first we solve 24 divided by 4, which is 6. Then we solve 3 times 2, which is also 6. Now all we're left with is a simple addition problem, 6 plus 6, which gives us the correct answer, 12. And hey, remember that very first quiz? 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 3 equals 13. If you got 16, you fell into that classic order of operations trap. But now you have the tools to avoid it every single time. So, you see, this isn't about some magic formula or being a so called math person. It's just about having a clear, repeatable process. This is your personal path to mastering math, and it all starts with a few key ideas. So, here are the crucial takeaways. First, fight those conceptual errors by taking the time to truly understand the why. Second, beat calculation errors by always double checking your work and using estimation. And third, you can eliminate those frustrating careless errors just by being mindful and following a plan. And that is the bottom line. It's not about talent, it's all about strategy. So the next time you face a math problem, don't just ask yourself, what's the answer? Ask yourself this: what kind of error am I most likely to make here? That little shift in perspective might just be the key to getting it right.